Hello, Test It Now friends. This is Joey Gomez with another video for you today. I'm going to be doing a comparison video of two different online softwares that will be able to help you in creating graphic organizers. But before I get started, I want to say thank you for being on my channel and viewing my content. Please like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that way you can get up-to-date information. And please leave a comment if there's something else you'd like to see. Let's test it. Alright, so today, as I said before, we're going to be going over two softwares that are graphic organizers on web browsers. Let's go to the first one that I have for us today. And this is actually a graphic organizer specifically for you that would be a PDF. Now, this website is where you can go in order to get that actual graphic organizer. There's a whole plethora of graphic organizers on here. And I think some of the best ones on here as a recommendation include the Describe wheel. And I'll go ahead and bring that up right now. I believe that it's one of the best because it has a central area like a typical graphic organizer would, and it allows you to see that central idea topic and then have a circular area to actually go about looking at it. So the next one I would recommend is a Kwl Chart. Now in my education, a lot of times this is the best way to know that your child has no prior understanding, and then at the end show what they've been able to grasp in the content. So right here, for example, if we go to this, I always like to zoom in to make it clear. If you have a chart that is a Kwl chart, it always asks what you know, what you want to know, and what you learned. And that really is just such a simple graphic organizer you can use with your kids, especially if you want to check or do a sort of formative assessment on them. All right, the next one that I have that I would recommend, always would recommend a step-by-step chart. Why? Especially with the kids that I have, if they don't have this, it's not happening in any kind of chronology. It's just kind of going all over the place. So they just need to have the steps and the detail, the steps and the detail, the steps and the detail, especially if they're going to have something in a project or a workspace that they need to work on. Now, all of these have been PDFs, and that's what these all are on this website, the eduplace.com graphic organizer. But sometimes we don't have the convenience of being able to print these things, so I made a comparison, or I found a comparative for you to be able to use just one style of graphic organizer, and that's going to be found here on eyeplorer.com. Now, what this does is I went ahead and wrote in a word. It went to this generic window for Berlin, and as you can see, there's a bunch of choices around it that would help the child be able to specify with one word different types of words that fall into the category either of place, science, technology, society. It has a variety of choices. So I'm going to put the word test in there. As you see, there's a drop down. You can go to the whichever kind they have available. As I click on it, it'll take me to the next graphic organizer online. And for me, as I work with my kids, there's a lot of times they can't just really bring to light expressive vocabulary that they need to just draw from their mind isn't always readily available. And so this just gives them an idea, a different set of words that they could help grasp an understanding. And again, that's the purpose. This is tech they can use to help them better understand their content. So with my rating today, what I wanted to do was I wanted you to have two choices. Be able to switch between something on paper and something online. Maybe your child wants to, you can always have a variety, and that really makes it an effective practice for your child. Knowing that you're giving them detailed instructions, but also giving them a variety in order to keep them entertained and active in what you're working on. So As far as the website is concerned, my biggest concern about, I'm going to say pros, concerns, and then I'm going to say cons and then pros. Okay? And my pro for this website is it's very easily accessible. It's free. You can go right to it. You can copy all these, use these in the classroom when you have a printer or when you have the time to actually get it ready for your kids. Sometimes I run into that situation with high school students that a lot of them don't have access to just a paper copy, especially at this time when we're all enclosed in our homes. But if I have this and I can kind of convert the PDF, and I think I might do that in a later video. Hopefully I'll be able to get there. And convert that PDF into something that's able to be written on, then great. But as for now, I would rate this a yes for me, because my pros are that it is already organized, it's very simple to get, and there are a number of choices that the kids can go off of. And so I might have work with English, and I need to take one central idea and expand it. Or I may need to have something a little bit more difficult for them that might not be so kind of free choice. It might need to be in a step-by-step. And I say difficult as in they need to really follow instructions, and they may not want to. Yeah. So as far as this is concerned, it's definitely a thumbs up. I would go here, get the graphic organizer, make your life easier. Just have it prepared, give it to your child for the activity you have ready to get organized. Alrighty, for the eyeplorer.com rating, the con on this is your child actually has to have the words with them. The idea is that the child knows this is really only for when you've provided them with a definition or more so the vocabulary, and they're really just trying to grasp understanding. If they don't have the vocabulary in front of them, it's not going to work. And so I tend to find that if I'm using this and these explanations might be too difficult for the kids, I have to just sit down with them and go over it. But the pros are that they categorize them. I'm able to look at health, life science. I'm able to look at organization, looking at society, science and technology. Each one of these has a category. I can say, okay, so, do you know what Google is? Oh, it's a search engine. Okay, that might be a little too advanced for them. Maybe let's find another one here. It'll be a little easier. Let's see here. Okay, here's one. We could do a list of tests. And so I would say, okay, question 1, question 2, question 3, list 1. Question 1, question 2, question 3, list 2. Giving them an idea of what an actual test. And, my kids, just thinking about them, they may not grasp too quickly everything, but I do know that it gives them a visual representation, a category to fall on. So for this one, I'm pretty confident it would be a yes. It'd be a yes for me because I can go online. But that kind of also moves me to this when I think about this next point that I want to make sure I was clear about. This requires Flash. And if you don't know what Flash means, that means in order to start up the program, you actually have to enable a Flash setting, which means that this graphic itself, eventually these windows are going to expire the ability to use Flash, which in its time was a really useful tool, but now it's kind of getting kicked to the curb. I guess there's been some abuse and all this other stuff in the tech world. It's not relevant to what we're talking about, but this right here may not be available after a while. So that kind of moves me from here to a little bit, in between there. Very colorful, very vibrant. Kids could get on this really quick, but if it's not accessible, then functionality is kicked out the door, and I don't like that. So definitely somewhere in between yes, thumbs up, somewhere in the middle. Not a no. It's definitely a very resourceful tool, and we just tested them.